With 43 million population in Afghan in total, 20 million of women, and these 20 million women are facing one of the women inequality, worst inequality crisis around the world, especially during the Taliban takeover. Women rights around the world grows steadily, but this is not the case for Afghan women. It goes back and forth. One decade it grows, and another decade it decreases. If you take year 1959, it is called as burqa runoff in Afghan, where wearing burqa became extremely optional according to the female need. And in year 1964, right to vote for women has been granted, and also they can enroll themselves in politics and universities during this time. Also year 1980 stated that almost all government, all university officials, 50% of them were female. Year 1992, with Mujahidin takeover, situation become worse. That is, the women's development make a complete dip, where they were not allowed to get education, employed, not even good healthcare were provided. But year 1996, which is very crucial for Afghan women, which is where the Taliban took over, take place, and many women face the extreme crisis of their lifetime, where they cannot go out of the home without any male companion. They do not go to any school, they do not go to any college, because a strict Islamic law picture came into this time period of 1996. In this year 1996, after the Taliban took over, burqa revival mode has made a comeback, which means that burqa revival and burqa runoff, which had 30-year time period between them, all those 30-year development starting from the 1950s has come to an end in 1996, which eroded all the women development that had been made in these 30 years so far. And also in 2021, in recent this decade, after again the takeover of the Taliban, now Afghan, not only Afghan women, but most Afghans are seriously in need of humanitarian assistance because of their unhygienic healthcare condition that they are facing. Worst place to live in. What is the biggest crime that you can commit in Afghan? To be born as a woman is the greatest crime that you can do in Afghanistan. So being born as a woman, you are going to have very low literacy rate. 29.8% of the Afghan women are literate. Other than that, everyone are illiterate, which is going to be very feasible amount if you compare it with the Korean literacy rate of 97.1%. Here it is only 29%. Gender apartheid. Gender apartheid is nothing but gender-based discrimination, where if you are born as a male, you are respected, you are given every rights to do anything, and if you are born female, your rights will be completely eroded. You are just a second-class citizen. And how their rights are completely ruined in the Taliban takeover, where they completely take away their rights to get education. They completely ruin their financial independence by not getting out of the house. You are in the house prison, and also their public appearance is completely removed. And even if they are going to appear in the public, strict dress code according to the Sharia law has been introduced. Today in Afghan, you cannot see many women public toilet, not public saloons. Nothing is there for women especially, and also they do not have female doctors to take care of some specific female related issues that should be taken care by the female doctors, but they are not taken care, and they are at extremely healthcare hygienic risk about that. And taking about the child custody or asking for divorce is a long distance dream for Afghan women. If women go against these rules in Afghan, what they will do? They will be stoned, they will be raped, they will be executed, publicly executed, humiliated, and they will be tortured, beaten to death for not wearing burqa properly, and also their limbs will be cut off as a punishable offense by not wearing burqa or appearing in the public place without any male companion. What Islam says? Islam says, seek knowledge it is no common for both men and women. In more Islamic tone, it says that seek knowledge and encourage men and women to acquire education. And today, in around 200 countries with most literate people around the world, out of 250 are Muslim countries. And also, as modernity is progressing, UAE has become one of the most traditional Muslim countries in the world, has allowed women to come out of their home without any male companion. They can drive their own car without anyone's help. This is how such traditional Muslim countries had made progress in last 10 years. Taliban's cultural practice. Many Islam countries around the world today encourage higher education for the women in their family. But it is not the case for Taliban. Why? It is the reflection of what is their childhood background, where they came from. Most of the Taliban leaders are from Pakistan tribal community, and all the cultural practices that these leaders of Taliban makes are related to 19th century practice, where they have seen that their mother have stayed in the home. They have never they have never stepped out of the home to get any things done. They completely depended on their father, and this is how their complete entire childhood memory is linked to. The strict restrictions that these Taliban makes, where it is coming from to them, it is simply because of their strict socio-cultural upbringing, from where they have born, from where they have brought up, all those from all those timeline of their childhood to being an adult, all of them had never seen their mother stepping out of their home independently. None of their mother were ever educated, and only time their mother had stepped out of their home is only when they are dead. There is a strict belief in themselves that women can get out of the home only when she is dead, unless and otherwise she should only stay in the home, and home is meant for women. It is not a road that is meant for women. A Taliban leader who imposed ban on women's education policy in 2021 quoted one of the Muhammad's wife called as Wada bin Zama, and said that she stayed in the Muhammad's house throughout her lifetime. She never stepped out of the house. She was completely taking care of Muhammad and completely following his order. But what he failed to denote is that other such Muhammad wives were also there, who were teachers, also participated in all the historic making activities in the ancient period. They were students, they were teachers, they were going and preaching all the Islamic laws to all the students. And he failed to mention other Muhammad's wives who were stepping out of the home. They just choose a selective part to state the people that why we are restricting women from going outside of the home. So this selective propaganda, when Afghan women questions them like, why are you shutting down the school for 6th grade going girls also? Why there are no colleges? Why there are no universities? Why should we dwell in the four-wall prison of the home, which is our dreamland, is now a prison to us? And why should we dwell in this prison for all of our lifetime as a devil mind, thinking about nothing throughout the daytime? And if anyone asks questions to them, what they will say is, still there are portions that need to be separated. That is, the girls should attend girls should attend the school separately from the boys, and still the portion separation is going on, and once it is done, we will allow girl students to attend the schools. But for complete 3 years they are using the same answer again and again, which had never happened. And for past 3 to 4 years, none of the girl students above 6th grade had gone to the public schools. Baad Marriages, BADD, Baad. What do you mean by Baad marriage? Baad marriage is nothing but exchange of girls for any adultery or crime committed by the men in the family. So in simple words, for example, a girl is having a brother, and that brother has committed an adultery with some other neighbor women, and that women's husband can claim that a mistake done by this girl's brother can only be can only be accepted if you if you give your sister as a marriage material to me. Can you correlate how it works? So if a brother cheats, he should give away his sister as a marriage material to the one whom he to the one husband who he cheated with. So this is how they just use women as a commodity for the exchange of what they did, what crime they did. It is going to get whitewashed with the exchange of girl. And this particular Baad marriages had increased after the Taliban takeover too. Why? Because Talibans are simply going and asking more and more women, and more child marriages are happening simply because they are staying in the home all day long without doing anything other than the house chores. So more or less girls above 15 are asked by Talibans for Baad marriages. Afghan civil law states that a woman can marry whomever she wants. But that is not the case clearly before and after Taliban takeover. Even before Taliban takeover, it is according to the wish of the father that a girl should marry. Whomever the father is going to note down, the girl should simply nod her head and say that okay, I am marrying this man because my father has chosen one. They simply do not accept women's right as such, because of which if there is a man who is confident in himself, he will see women being free. He'll see the women as a human being, and he'll see women as someone respectably equal to him, not above him, not below him. But this is not the case with the Afghan women. They have never tasted such women's right in their whole life, even before Taliban takeover, and even during Taliban it is even worse. Recent floods in Afghan. So recent 2024 floods in Afghan has clearly affected the hygiene of especially Afghan women. Why? There is a practice still that public toilets, especially during the flood times, you are not going to stay in your home. Obviously, your homes will be filled with floods. So you will come out in public and go for any camps where you can stay for some time until the flood drains in your home. But for these Afghan women, when they step out of the home, for especially during the flood time, there is no public toilet, as I said before. But even if there are public toilets that are used by men is there, during the crisis time, what can you do? You cannot do anything. If there is a public toilet and there is floods going on in other places, if some personal health hygiene is needed for you, you should definitely use something that is readily available to you in time of crisis. But Afghan women are not going to use the public toilet which are used by men. It is inherently and subconsciously taught to them that the toilet, the places that are used by the men should never be used by women, because men are above us, and we should not pollute what the place that they are in. We should not pollute that place. That's what they are taught inherently. And they do not ask for sanitary pads, do not ask for any hygiene health. Even if they are unable to walk, they are not going to ask for sanitary pads during times like flood. This is one of the important crisis point that we need to take and note down. What they do to ease the situation, that if there is no public toilet available, and even if it is available, I'm not going to use it, what will they do? They will simply drink less water, and they will simply try to control the urge to pee. And because of this, they are strongly conditioned to believe that I should not ask for a sanitary pad, I should not ask for any personal hygiene health care, because there is no female doctor available for me. I should not ask. If I'm going to ask all these things directly, it is going to put me in further danger. So what should I do? I should simply control my pee bag, I should simply control my healthcare bag. Because of which many Afghan women had faced cholera, malaria, and all waterborne diseases in 2024 recent floods. Why education is important for women even if she is not going for a job? Why? And here in Afghan, many women are married to before they attain puberty or below the age of 15. They are easily married to even older men. For example, a 15-year-old girl is married to 40-year-old man. So obviously there's someone who is much more older than the girl, who is still a kid, will definitely get control, will definitely be in the economically vulnerable position. She is going to, her all her rights are going to get snatched away from her. And here comes a picture. When we give education to these kids, who what will they do? They will try to think that, okay, this is not the time for my marriage. I still need to study. I still need to analyze who am I and what is my contribution to this world in the near future. And there is one important thing. Even if they're not going for a job, if you give education to a girl, she will think that I need to register my child's birth in the hospital. I need a doctor, a personal doctor, during my childbirth. She will know what vaccination does the child need at what age. She will send her child to school, and her childs are less likely to be abused and less likely to become a child labor. And also, this women's household will be very clean, with clean drinkable water and hygiene rich atmosphere. And all these basic things, all these basic human amenities are only available only when you are aware with the basic education, which is what is snatched away from these Afghan women. What women in Afghan want you to know? They just want you to know that we are a crime committed individual only because we are born as a female. We do not get free food, good water, and good education, and because of which 90% of our population is illiterate, and we do not know what it is likely to have a good home, good atmosphere, and clean water. And also, we do not have female doctors for our personal hygiene, and all of our personal hygiene is at extreme risk because of such cultural changes which robbed away our basic rights. Here, women are jailed not only for crimes like drug dealing, robbery, or else killing someone, or else adultery or sex out of the wedlock. Here, women are also jailed for going and marrying the boy whom she loved. This is a serious crime that a woman can ever commit in Afghan. And last but not the least, they want to say that many people's ears are completely deaf and eyes are blind around the world, even on serious women's right crisis like this.